Hello everyone, I'm Edwin. I'm so happy to see you here. So today I will share with you the best investment for 2021, which is iBond. You may say that how can a bond with return of 2% per year be the best investment? Before I explain it, I want to briefly introduce what is iBond. The full name of iBond is the Hong Kong Government Inflation Linked Bond. As the name implies, the dividend payout is based on inflation. So the investment period for iBond is 3 years and there are 100 bond units for each note. As the face value of each unit is $100, it means that after 3 years, investors are expected to get back $10,000. The offering price per unit is $100, so the selling price or the offering price is also $10,000 for each note. So therefore, the return on iBond depends on the amount of interest paid in each period. So how is the interest payment determined? Unlike the fixed rate payout commonly used for bond, iBond interest payments are at floating rate. It pays interest per 6 months, and the interest rate is based on the change in Hong Kong's composite consumer price index in the past 6 months. That is the inflation rate. If the annualized inflation rate for the past 6 months is 3%, then the first interest income for each note would be 10,000 times 3% divided by 2, which is 150. So what if there is a deflation? Will investor lose money or have no interest income? Don't worry about this. iBond has a guaranteed interest rate of 1% in the past, and this guarantee increased to 2% this year. So as there is a deflation in the next 6 months and the inflation rate is negative 1%, as it is less than 2% under the guarantee mechanism, the second interest payment would be 10,000 times 2% divided by 2, which is $100. In other words, iBond can give investor return on the higher of inflation rate or 2%. So for conservative investor, it can be an effective tool against inflation. Or what if my investment goal is more aggressive, so I don't have to buy it, right? Not really. It's still attractive to you. We can get more insight from the past performance of iBond. iBond was released 7 times in the past, from 2011 to 2016, and then stopped for 3 years, and it resumes at 2020. The issuance amount is 10 billion, and the amount is increased to 15 billion last year. This year, the issuance amount is still 15 billion, but 5 billion may be added if the market loves it. So is iBond popular? For the first insurance, it may not be the case. People do not know much about iBond, so the number of applicants is only 150k. After people know that, the first day return is pretty good, the number of subscribers was increased until the third insurance. The number of applicants reached 500k and was more or less at this level for the remaining insurance. So how about the allotment? iBond is different from a general IPO. iBond is not distributed according to the number of bond investors apply for. Instead, it uses a more fair distribution system. That is, every applicant get one head first. Next, every investor who applied for 2 notes or more can get 1 additional note, and so on until all iBond is distributed. So due to the small number of applicants in the first issuance, then they do not apply for a lot, so the maximum allocation can go to 45 knots. After that, the maximum allocation for each issuance is between 2 and 4 knots. Then how about the return? We can see that the closing price is higher than the offering price for all issuance. The closing price is ranged from 102.75 to 106.7. But the closing price is getting lower because of the decrease in inflation expectation. I will explain why inflation expectation matter with iBond later. The total interest for the whole period is ranged from 617 to 1,358. Again, due to the inflation rate falling, the total interest income is also decreasing. So as the closing price and the total interest continue to fall, so why do I still recommend you to apply for it? I would say that I'm a long-term fan of iBond. Starting from the first issuance of in 2011, I have subscribed iBond every time. The amount of first issuance of in 2011 was 10 billion and the total number of applicants was 150,000. Since the total subscription amount was only 13.1 billion, the maximum allotment can go to 45 knots, and there are only 4,966 investors who apply for knots more than or equal to this level, and I'm lucky that I'm one of them. The following is my monthly statement, and you can see that I originally have no money in this account, actually only $17. But after the government announced this insurance of iBond, I did a little math. I found that wow, it was a great investment. So I transfer my fund from future account to stock account. I deposit 63,000 there and then borrow additional 90% for my investment. So I end up applying for 6,000 shares or 60 knots. Finally, I got 44 knots and then I sold them all at 106.7 on the first trading date. I'm quite happy that I'm making a little bit profit there. Okay, then why was I so confident that iBond is a sure win and is willing to do a margin? So because I applied some knowledge I learned in college to do the math. Many people recommend iBond in different media and say that it's profitable to buy it, but not many people discuss why will the bond price must go up. So today I want to explain it to you. It definitely will involve some mathematics. So if you are not interested in the reason behind, you can go direct to the end of this video for conclusion. Just kidding. I know that people who is watching this channel should have a pursuit of knowledge, right? So you will feel upset even you make money but you don't know why, right? So thanks for keep watching. I will try to explain it in plain English. Back to the fundamental. We know that iBond will give investor 6 interest payment and the principal by discounting all cash flow, and then by considering the time value of money, we should be able to get a fair price. So the following is the equation for us to calculating the fair value of iBond. The interest payment is based on the annualized inflation rate of the past 6 months and then multiplied by $100 and divided by 2. And the denominator shows the calculation of discounting future cash flow to present value. So there are 2 sets of known in our equation. The first group is the inflation rate for the next 3 years. And then the second group is the discount rate applicable to the next 3 years. So how should we find these 2 sets of unknowns? The simplest way is to assume that the future inflation rate is lower than 2%. So under the guarantee mechanism, the annual rate of return of iBond would then be 2%. So we can find the interest rate. Then what about the discount rate? There's a key principle in finance, that is the risk-return trade-off. It means that assets with same risk should be subjected to the same discount rate. So what instrument has the similar risk as iBond? The closer comparison is the exchange fund bill, both of which are issued by bodies of Hong Kong government, so the risk should be the same, and because of this, the discount rate should also be the same. The interest rate of exchange fund bill for 6 months to 2 years is 0.03% to 0.11%. Doing some adjustment, we can get the discount rate for iBond ranging from 0.03% to 0.3%. And finally, we found that the fair value is 104.1. But this is just an estimate of fair value based on the minimum interest rates of 2%. What the inflation rate can return to the historical average after half a year and remain at 2.5%. Then the fair price can actually go up to 105.4. Therefore, I expect that the price on the first trading day would be between 104.1 to 105.4. Okay, it's time to make some forecasts and suggestions. The price of iBond on the first day would be at least 104.1. Some people may say how 4% make iBond be the best investment in 2021. First, a monthly return of 4% without taking into account of compound interest is already annualized return of 48%, which is much higher than Warren Buffett's average return of 22%. And second, important things say 3 times: low risk, low risk, low risk. Even for hot IPO, there are a lot of risks behind it. First, we may not get allotment, then we lost the subscription fees, margin interest, and also opportunity cost. But for iBond, it's highly likely that we would at least get 1. except there are more than 200, there are more than 2 million people apply for it, jumping from 500k last year. So that's why it's highly unlikely. Second, there are many cases where the stock price can fall below the offering price. But bond prices are much easier to calculate, so it's highly unlikely that the price will fall below hundreds. For conservative investor, the annual return is 2%, is definitely much better than the current deposit interest rate for saving account in bank. For other investors, assuming that investor can get 4 lots and each lot can give you $400 as you can sell it at 104, then the expected income is already 1,600. If you do not have plan to invest other things, actually keeping iBond is better than keeping it cash. If you have money in your account, I would suggest you to subscribe for 7 knots to bet for a very low chance of getting 6 to 7 knots a moment. I would say that the chance is maybe less than 1%, but if you just put money there, why not you subscribe more? If you have plan to do with your money, then I would suggest you to apply for 5 hands, as the maximum allotment is highly likely between 4 to 5 knots. So even for investors with insufficient money for applying for 5 knots, I will still suggest you to use margin. 99% of the time, I don't suggest people to use margin, but for iBond, I have very high confidence to suggest that you can apply margin for apply for 5 knots. So remember, the date of subscription is starting from 1st of June, and then I suggest you to paying attention to the offers of different bank and brokerage firm and finding the best way for your subscription. Okay, so let's stop here today, and I wish everyone can earn some good pocket money and then good enough for you to pay for your staycation in the summertime. Thank you for watching. I'm Edwin. I hope to see you again. So see you next time. Bye.